There's a moment every man hits, late at night, alone, phone in your hand, staring at a screen that feels colder than she ever was. No call, no text, just silence. And it cuts deeper than most people will ever understand, because it's not just the waiting, it's what happens in your mind while you wait. The doubts start creeping in, the questions, the self-blame. Was I not enough? Did I say the wrong thing? What could I have done differently? Brother, I know that feeling. I've been there, sat in that same darkness. But here's the hard truth that most men run from. It wasn't what you did wrong. It's what you allowed for way too damn long. You allowed disrespect. You allowed silence as punishment. You allowed games and emotional manipulation. You allowed a woman to treat you like an option while you treated her like a queen, and that's not love, that's not strength, that's not patience, that's self-destruction. Because every time you stayed silent, every time you made excuses for her behavior, every time you tolerated less than what you deserve, you taught her how little you value yourself. Respect is not given to men who tolerate disrespect. Respect is commanded by the way you carry yourself. And brother, I'll tell you this. With all the love and fire I've got, a man who tolerates disrespect is a man who volunteers for suffering. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you back your dignity. Nobody's going to fix this for you. Save yourself. Get up. Raise your standards. Hold the line. Because once you do, you stop begging for crumbs of attention. Once you start living like a man who respects himself first, that silence you fear, it becomes peace. And that woman who played games, she becomes irrelevant. Your future, your peace, your purpose are waiting for you. But first you've got to save yourself. In this video, I'm breaking down 6 toxic traits that, if you tolerate them, will guarantee one thing. She will never respect you. Not in her heart, not in her mind, not in the way a man needs to be respected to lead a relationship. See, most men think losing a woman happens when she walks out the door, but the truth is brutal. Most women leave long before their body does. They check out emotionally. They lose respect silently. They stay physically. But in their mind, you're already gone. Why? Most because you showed her you'll tolerate what no man of value should. This video isn't about hate. It's about standards. It's about protecting your peace, your purpose, and your self-respect. Because a man who stands for nothing, him falls for anything. And if you're the kind of man who protects his peace, who refuses to settle for less, I want you to drop it in the comments right now. I protect my peace. Say it. Mean it. Live it. Now let's get to work. Number 1, disrespectful communication. If she talks to you like a child, she'll see you like one. There's a slow kind of death most men never talk about. It doesn't happen in one blow. It's not dramatic. It's not loud. It happens in the little moments, over weeks, months, sometimes years. It happens when a man sits across the dinner table from the woman he loves and realizes he doesn't even recognize himself anymore. Not because she left him, not because she cheated, not because of some big betrayal, but because somewhere along the way, he stopped standing up for himself. He started letting shit slide. He started laughing at jokes that cut too deep. He started swallowing sarcasm that wasn't playful. It was venom. He started ignoring that sting in his chest every time she rolled her eyes or sighed or talked down to him like a damn child. And the saddest part, He thought he was being a good man for doing it. He thought patience was strength. He thought silence was wisdom. He thought not making it a big deal was what a mature man does. But here's the hard truth. Nobody tells you until it's too late. Every time you let a woman talk to you like you're beneath her, you teach her how little you value yourself. You show her, without words, that you'll sit there and take it, that she can cross lines, over and over, and you'll keep showing up with flowers, with dinners, with good behavior, trying to win back respect you should have never lost in the first place. Brother, let me tell you something real plain. Respect doesn't get negotiated. It doesn't get begged for. It doesn't get slowly earned. Back after you've lost it, respect is either there or it's not. And here's the kicker. Disrespect never starts big. No woman starts by yelling in your face. It starts small. It starts with that playful jab that stings a little too much. It starts with that, "Oh, relax, I'm just joking," after saying something that cut you down. And when you let that go unchecked, you give her permission to go further, until one day you wake up and you're not her man anymore. You're just some guy she orders around, some guy she talks down to, some guy who lost his edge, his power, his presence, and no amount of love, no amount of gifts, no amount of patience will fix that. Because a woman can love a man she doesn't respect, but she'll never follow him, but never trust him, never stay attracted to him long term. So what do? Simple. You draw a line. You don't yell, you don't insult her back, you don't play her game. You state your standard like a man who means it. If you talk to me like that again, I'm gone. Not a threat, not an emotional outburst, not a childish reaction, just truth. And when you say it, you better be willing to back it up, because if you draw a line and let her step over it, you're finished. She'll never believe another word you say. She'll know your boundaries are fake, your standards are for show. But if you walk away, calmly, silently, without anger, you send a message, louder than words. You tell the world, I am a man who respects himself. And I promise you this, the right woman will rise to meet that standard. The wrong woman will crumble without control over you. Either way, you win, because at the end of the day, brother, if she talks to you like a child, she'll see you like one. But if you speak like a man, live like a man, and stand like a man, she'll have no choice but to treat you like one. Never tolerate disrespect, not from her, not from anyone, not from yourself, because the words you allow today shape the man you become tomorrow. And real men protect their peace. Real men protect their dignity. Real men walk away from anything that insults their soul. Be that man. She might love you for it. She might leave you for it. But either way, you win. Number 2, emotional manipulation. If you let her play mind games, don't cry when you lose yourself. There's a certain kind of exhaustion that men don't talk about. It's not the tired you feel after a long day of work. It's not the ache in your body after building something with your hands. No, it's deeper than that. It's the exhaustion of being emotionally twisted, pulled and played. It's waking up every day walking on eggshells, second-guessing every word out of your mouth, every text you send, every decision you make, because somewhere along the line, the woman you loved didn't want partnership anymore. She wanted control. And brother, that's where the slow death begins. It starts small, a guilt trip here, a cold shoulder there, a little silent treatment just to watch you squirm. You catch yourself overthinking everything. Was it something I said? Did I not show her enough attention? Maybe if I just explained myself better. But here's what you don't realize until you've been through hell and back. You can't reason with emotional manipulation because it was never about truth. It was never about love. It was never about connection. It was about control. See, healthy love doesn't need games. It doesn't need guilt. It doesn't need you to prove yourself over and over just to earn basic respect. But when a woman starts using her emotions as weapons, tears, silence, guilt, she's not loving. She's managing you, managing your mind, managing your reactions, managing your damn self-worth. And you sit there, exhausted, empty, confused. Worse yet, you start doubting yourself. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I do need to try harder. Maybe I just need to be more patient. Let me be clear with you, brother. Patience is a virtue, but being someone's emotional punching bag is not. And the longer you stay in that storm, the more you lose pieces of yourself. Your peace gets replaced by anxiety. Your confidence gets replaced by self-doubt. Your strength gets replaced by quiet desperation. That's what emotional manipulation does. It doesn't destroy you. Overnight, it bleeds you dry over time until you're a ghost of the man you used to be. So what's the move? Simple but not easy. Stillness, silence, strength. When a woman throws guilt trips at you, let them hit the wall of your calm. Don't react, don't over-explain, don't play defense. When she gives you the silent treatment, you match it with peace. Not anger, not begging, peace. And when the pattern keeps repeating, when it's no longer a bad day but a way of life, you leave, not out of hate, not out of revenge, but because you refuse to betray yourself any longer. See, emotional manipulation only works on men who need validation. But a Stoic man doesn't need outside permission to feel whole. He knows his worth is not up for negotiation. He doesn't need to win an argument. He doesn't need to fix her mood. He doesn't need to convince anyone to love him right. He just walks, because peace is expensive, and a real man is willing to pay the price of solitude before he sells his soul for comfort. Remember this, brother. If you let her play mind games, don't cry when you lose yourself. A woman who respects you will never need to manipulate you. A woman who loves you will never want to see you broken. Hold your line, guard your peace, stand in stillness, because a man who cannot be moved cannot be controlled. And in this world full of noise and games, that kind of man is rare. Be that man. Number 3, disloyalty or flirting with others. If she advertises herself while taken, she's telling the world you're invisible. It starts with a picture, a little too revealing, a little too intentional, a little too public for a woman who says she has a man. Then it's a comment under some guy's post. Maybe it's just a laugh. Maybe it's just an inside joke. Maybe it's just friendly. At least that's what you tell yourself. See, that's how it begins for a lot of men. We don't want to be insecure. We don't want to seem controlling. We don't want to make a big deal out of something small. So we stay quiet. We convince ourselves it's nothing. We swallow that gut feeling. We brush off the discomfort. Until one day we wake up and realize we've been tolerating disrespect in the name of being chill. But here's the truth most men don't say out loud. A woman who loves you, truly loves you, doesn't want attention from the world. She wants respect from you. She wants loyalty from you. And she damn sure protects your name when you're not in the room. But a woman who constantly advertises herself, who craves male attention online, who posts thirst traps while claiming to be yours, she's already showing you something loud and clear. She sees you as invisible. See? The modern world tries to blur the lines. Likes are harmless. Comments don't mean anything. Posting pictures isn't cheating, and technically, maybe it's not. But it's not about technicalities. It's about respect. It's about values. It's about standards. Because a real woman who values her relationship doesn't look for validation from strangers. She doesn't fish for compliments. She doesn't play single online while sleeping in your bed. Brother, let me say this to you straight. Loyalty isn't complicated. It's not a gray area. It's not negotiable. It's not something you earn over time. It's either there or it's not. And if she's making you question it, if you're sitting there staring at her profile, wondering why she needs so much attention from other men, that's your sign. Not to argue, not to beg, not to send her long paragraphs about how you feel. No, that's your sign to state your standard. Clearly, calmly, directly. I'm not in a relationship with a woman who seeks attention from other men. That's it. No threat, no begging, no drama. You say it once, and if she respects you, she'll adjust. She'll check herself. She'll realize a man of value doesn't compete for attention. But if she gets defensive, if she mocks you, if she tells you you're too controlling or too insecure for expecting loyalty, brother, that's your cue to leave. Not because you hate her, not because you're trying to punish her, but because you love yourself enough to walk away from disrespect. See, a man who tolerates disloyalty is a man who signs up for humiliation. And I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how long you've been together. I don't care what excuses she gives you. If she's advertising herself while being with you, she's telling the world you don't matter. And let me tell you something. The world believes her. Your friends see it. Your family sees it. Strangers online see it. But most importantly, you see it. And the longer you ignore it, the more you betray yourself. A stoic man doesn't need the world's approval, but he sure as hell demands loyalty from the woman standing next to him. Because if you can't trust her in public, you're already alone. So hold your line, speak your standard. Be willing to lose her to keep your dignity, because in this life, you don't lose a real woman by demanding respect. You only lose the wrong one. And brother, that's not a loss, that's a win. Number 4, lack of accountability if she's never wrong. You'll always be miserable. It's a heavy thing, carrying blame that was never yours to hold. At first it feels small, almost nothing. An argument ends and you say, fine, maybe I was wrong, even when you know deep down you weren't. You just wanted peace, you just wanted the tension to break. You just didn't want to lose her. So you bite your tongue. You take the hit. You apologize for things you didn't even do. And brother, I get it. I know what it's like to love someone so much. You'd rather lose a piece of yourself than lose them completely. But here's the thing. No one tells you until you've been through the fire. Every time you take responsibility for her bad behavior, every time you apologize for things she refuses to own, every time you swallow her mistakes like they're your burden to carry, you're not saving the relationship. You're slowly destroying yourself. Because if she's never wrong, guess who's always to blame? You. And it starts to eat at you. At first it's the small stuff you forgot to call. You're selfish, you set a boundary, you're controlling, you disagree with her, you're emotionally unavailable. See the pattern? The world she builds only has one villain. And brother, it's you. And the scary part is, you start believing it. That's what happens when you love a woman who refuses accountability. You become the problem. You become the punching bag. You become the reason for every storm she creates. But let me hit you with a truth that every real man needs to hear. A woman who can't own her mistakes will bury you in them, and it won't happen overnight. It's slow. It's subtle. It's poison disguised as love. She'll frame herself as the victim in every story. She'll twist your words. She'll rewrite history. She'll make you doubt your own memory. And before you know it, you're not in a relationship anymore. You're in a courtroom, always defending yourself, always proving yourself, always losing. That is not love. That is not partnership. That is prison. But a stoic man moves differently. He watches, he observes, he doesn't react emotionally to blame games. He pays attention to how a woman handles being called out. Does she get defensive? Does she deflect? Does she twist the narrative to make you the bad guy again? Or does she pause, reflect, and own her side? Because, brother, that tells you everything you need to know. The wrong woman will make you feel crazy for having standards. The right woman will respect you more for having them. And if she can never say these 3 words, I was wrong, let me be real clear with you, you are walking into a lifetime of misery. No amount of patience will fix it. No amount of love will soften it. No amount of sacrifice will change it. You cannot build peace with someone addicted to blame. So what do you do? A simple, you hold the line, you call out the truth calmly, without anger, without begging, and you watch if she owns it. You have something rare, a woman worth building with, a woman capable of growth. But if she doubles down, if she turns the blame back on you, brother, you don't argue, you don't explain, you don't plead, you leave. Not because you hate her, not because you're bitter, but because you love yourself enough to stop carrying shit that was never yours. That is real strength. That is masculine peace. That is stoic power. Remember this, if she's never wrong, you'll always be miserable. Real love requires accountability. Real respect requires ownership. Real men don't apologize for things they didn't do. Set your standard. Stand on it like stone, because a man who owns his peace doesn't carry anyone else's chaos. Number 5, entitlement without effort. A queen without effort is just a spoiled princess. There's a moment every man hits in a relationship, and it usually comes quietly. You're sitting there, maybe on the couch after a long day, exhausted, burned, out mind racing, and you look over at her, not the woman you fell for, not the woman who inspired you, but the version of her you created by giving and giving and giving while getting almost nothing back. See, it didn't start this way. In the beginning, maybe she was sweet. Maybe she appreciated the little things. A kind word meant something. A small gesture went a long way. But somewhere along the line, it changed. It stopped being gratitude, and it turned into expectation. You started doing more to keep the peace. You started buying more to avoid arguments. You started sacrificing your own needs just to keep her happy. And what did you get in return? Nothing, not effort, not respect, not love, just entitlement. And brother, that right there is a hell no man should ever sign up for, because let me tell you what happens when you reward bad behavior with gifts, trips, attention, validation. You train her not to love you, not to respect you, but to use you. Why? Because people don't value what they don't earn. Simple as that. It's human nature. We don't cherish what's handed to us for free. We don't respect what's thrown at us without boundaries. We don't love what we can control. And I get it. I know why you did it. You thought generosity would fix the distance. You thought being the provider would make her stay. You thought being the nice guy would inspire her to step up. But here's the brutal truth. Most men learn the hard way. Effort that isn't matched turns into resentment on both sides. She resents you because nothing she does matters. She still gets everything. You resent her because everything you do feels empty. It's never enough. That's not love. That's not partnership. That's a transaction. And you didn't sign up to be her damn ATM. A stoic man builds with a woman who shows up for him, not just with words, but with actions, with loyalty, with real effort. If she can't match your energy, if she can't meet you halfway, if she's sitting on the throne without ever earning the crown, then brother, she's not a queen. She's a spoiled princess. And spoiled people don't love you. They love what you give them. That's why the mindset shift is simple. Stop investing in women who only take. Stop pouring into a cup that has no bottom. Stop proving yourself to someone who wouldn't even cross the street for you. Give your energy, your love, your time to a woman who earns it, a woman who understands that relationships are not built on handouts. They're built on contribution, built on mutual respect, built on shared effort, built on real partnership. Because men like us, we don't build empires alone, but we damn sure don't build them with dead weight. And if that means you have to walk alone for a while, so be it, because I'd rather walk alone in peace than sit next to someone entitled in misery. Remember this: a queen without effort is just a spoiled princess, and a man without standards is just another fool waiting to be used. Raise your standard, protect your energy, give like a king, but only to a woman willing to be your queen. And if she's not that woman, let her go, because real love doesn't drain you, it builds you. Number 6, disrespecting your purpose. If she mocks your mission, she mocks your future. There's a moment that breaks a man in ways nobody sees. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's not even a fight. It's that quiet realization, late at night, laying in bed staring at the ceiling, when you finally admit it to yourself, I lost myself trying to keep her. You stopped going to the gym, stopped building that business, stopped chasing the mission that made you feel alive. And why? Because every time you worked on yourself, every time you stayed disciplined, every time you poured energy into something that didn't revolve around her, she got distant, she got cold, she mocked it. Why do you care so much about the gym? Oh, working late again? Guess your little project is more important than me. You've changed. You're obsessed with this stuff now. And here's what stings the most. She wasn't mad that you were failing. She was mad that you were rising without her control. See, the wrong woman doesn't want you stronger. She doesn't want you more disciplined. She doesn't want you focused on your purpose. Because a man on purpose is a man she can't manipulate. A man on purpose doesn't need constant approval. A man on purpose is dangerous to anyone who benefits from his weakness. And here's where most men fall apart. They think love means sacrificing the mission. They think being a good boyfriend means abandoning the things that built their confidence, their health, their mind. But let me tell you something real clear, brother. If she mocks your mission, she mocks your future. Because your purpose, whatever it is, that's not a hobby, that's not a phase, that's not something you negotiate. That's the core of who you are. It's what keeps you sharp. It's what makes you powerful. It's what keeps your soul alive. And any woman who tries to pull you away from that isn't loving you. She's loving her control over you. A good woman sees your grind and respects it. A good woman supports your discipline. A good woman doesn't compete with your purpose, she complements it. But a woman who feels threatened by your growth, by your success, by your focus, that's a woman who wants you small. That's a woman who would rather have a tamed version of you than the real you. And brother, that's not love. That's fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of being left behind. Fear of watching you become a man she can't keep in a cage. And this is where Stoic men stand apart. We don't abandon our mission for love. We don't apologize for ambition. We don't shrink ourselves to fit someone else's comfort zone. We lead with purpose. We protect it like our life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. Without purpose, a man rots from the inside out. You've seen it, men who gave everything to a woman, only to wake up one day bitter, empty, lost. Men who thought sacrificing their future was noble, only to realize they destroyed the very thing that made them worth loving in the first place. Don't be that man. Be the man who leads with action. Be the man who stays on the path, no matter who walks beside him. Be the man who knows, if she truly loves me, she'll respect where I'm going. And if she doesn't, brother, she's not your woman. She's a lesson. Remember this, your mission existed before her, and it'll exist long after. Purpose first, always. Because a man without purpose is a man already lost, and a man with purpose, that man is unstoppable. Brother, let me leave you with this. This life, it's not about winning her approval. It's not about chasing love like a starving man chasing scraps. It's not about fixing someone who doesn't want to be fixed. It's about becoming the kind of man who never loses himself again. Because respect, real respect, isn't something you negotiate for. It isn't given because you're nice. It isn't earned by sacrificing your dignity. It's commanded quietly, firmly, unapologetically, by who you choose to be and by what you refuse to tolerate. Weak men beg for peace in places built on chaos. Strong men walk away without hate, without anger, because they know peace starts within. And every standard you set, every boundary you hold, every step you take toward your purpose, that's you remembering who you are. That's you standing the hell up and saying, I will not betray myself just to keep someone else comfortable. Brother, women come and go. Relationships rise and fall. But the man you wake up to in the mirror every morning, that's forever. And that man deserves loyalty too. Loyalty to your values, loyalty to your mission, loyalty to your peace. Because in the end, it's not about being hard. It's not about being cold. It's about being immovable. It's about living in a way that says, I don't need to be chosen. I choose myself first. So if you've heard nothing else I've said, hear this. Stop trying to convince her to value you. Start living like a man who values himself. No begging, no chasing, no tolerating less. Say it with me in the comments. I protect my peace. Stay dangerous. Stay stoic. And never, ever settle for less.